Cybill Shepherd.
Someone by night.
She's been a model, a motion picture actress, and now a television star. Her life, both on camera and off, has been a roller coaster. But no matter how many times she's been down, she always manages to come up again. And now she's found her biggest audience ever as Maddie Hayes in Moonlighting. Cybill was picked up to star in ABC's romantic detective comedy, Moonlighting.
There is the sun and moon.
She plays opposite Bruce Willis as model-turned-detective Maddie Hayes.
Men's room.
I am not.
Their flirting, their humor, and her sexiness are the prime ingredients of the show. And for the first time in 10 years, Cybill Shepherd is back on top.
Satirize.
Satirize, scrutinize, fantasize, etc., etc., etc.
On Moonlighting, your relationship with Bruce Willis. I mean, everybody sort of roots for the two of you to get together, and there's that kind of little stuff going on between the two of you on camera. What's it like off camera?
Well, Bruce and I have a really good working relationship now, and we're real close. But at the beginning, it was difficult because we didn't know each other. And when you do a television show, it's like a marriage in the sense that you're forced to be with that person. I mean, you've got to work with that person most of the time. So you have to make that relationship work. Boy, was that a revealing thing I said about marriage, right? You have to be with that person. That tells you something.
Not you want to, you have to.
Yeah, you have to be with that person. And now we just get along real well because we've developed a trust with time that we are really working for each other.
Could you have an off-camera relationship?
We avoid that. We're real close. We're kind of like brother and sister.
Stay tuned.
Yeah. I don't know about that. I think he's real attractive. Bruce, are you listening? No.
And when you read the part, did you say, this is for me, this is it?
Yes, I did. It had comedy. I was been dying to play comedy. And also to get away from that cold bitch goddess thing. And also the femme fatale.
And now you're being compared to Carole Lombard.
One of my idols.
Did you know that you could be funny?
Sometimes it's hard to laugh at people that are, quote, beautiful. They're supposed to just sit around and look beautiful, and they're not supposed to be funny.
How far have you gotten because of your looks? Where is it
Real
helped and
far.
Real far.
Real far.
You know, you always hear, oh, if you're very beautiful, you have to struggle more, and you don't get the jobs, and it really is a curse being beautiful. Is it?
First of all, I have to say no, because this isn't a sour grapes thing that I'm trying to explain. A lot of doors have opened. But there's there's no door that opens in a person's life that some door doesn't close. I wouldn't want it any different. I'm very thankful. I was given a huge gift, absolutely given it, the way I look.
When you were modeling, you hated it. At least that's what you said.
It was boring.
What'd you feel, like a piece of meat being displayed?
I felt like a coat hanger. And also I had too many curves and bumps in the coat hanger, you know what I mean? I was never I was never emaciated. They always wanted me to be like 25 pounds thinner, and it was just, you know, I'm a big, healthy, athletic girl, and I just didn't want to do that. So I always had these curves and bumps where they wanted it to hang straight. That was a problem.
There you were, big model, picture on the cover after cover of Glamour magazine. Now, the story is that Peter Bogdanovich saw the magazine, said, that's the girl I want, and hired you for the last picture show. Is that it?
Yes, it was a cover of Glamour, and he put it in the office and said, that's JC.
But also, along with the last picture show, for which you got marvelous reviews, you were a success, let's say, even if you didn't feel you were a star. Yeah?
Yes, it was real important for me that I did also feel very successful.
Did you then?
For the first time.
For the first time. Did Peter Bogdanovich give you that?
He did. He did.
And he left his wife. You know the story. He left his wife of 8 years, and you moved in with him. And,
well, they were having problems before that.
And people said, he's her Svengali.
Right.
Was he?
And I miss Trilby. Svengali, the story of Svengali is that he creates a woman out of nothing. I believe that's the story. And if that's the case, then he's not Svengali to me. If you want to say a great teacher, he was a great teacher.
Did you love him?
Yes, I still love him. I'll always love him.
And while you were with him, then came the other films. Then came At Long Last, Love. Yeah. I remember some of the reviews. I remember my colleague, Gene Shalit, who said...
Oh, do I remember what he said.
What did he say?
I couldn't walk or talk, much less sing.
How did you feel?
It was horrible. Oh, it's awful. It's awful to do something with love and creativity and work at something so hard, and then suddenly, you know, it's like hitting a windshield in a car wreck or something. I mean, for your creative life. I mean, people talk about you like you have no talent, but then they can discover you again, and that's what I've lived through, and I think that's what gives me the strength to go on.
When all of that happened, though, you did something that was either very brave or going home to mommy. You went back to Memphis. What did you think your life was going to be like then?
That was more of a going home to heal wounds, in a sense. I did feel like I wasn't making it, in a way.
You go back to Memphis on a visit, right?
Right.
Okay. And you're in a blues club, and you see this good-looking guy. Was he a good-looking guy?
Yeah, very good. Still very good-looking.
All right. And you married him what?
8 months.
8 months after you met him. You lived with Bogdanovich for 8 years and didn't marry him. You meet this man, you live with him 8 months and you marry him.
That's logic, isn't it?
What was he like?
He was very different than the people I'd known and the man I had lived with before.
Bogdanovich?
He was very, very different.
How so?
Well, he was not driven with ambition, and was just very laid back, and I was really into music, jazz and the blues, and he was just very different. And I fell in love with him.
What was he doing then?
He was a parts manager for Mercedes-Benz repair shop.
And did you really think that that would work with Cybill Shepherd, actress, singer, talent?
Well, it did work. It did work but it worked for 3.5 years. I think that's a pretty long time.
For marriage, do you, Cybill?
Well, these days.
There are a few people whose life has been more of a roller coaster, more up and down than yours, personally and professionally. Out of all of that, does something happen? Do you therefore know something about yourself?
I know that I will survive. And that I'm a winner, whether, you know, the winds of fashion say I am or not.
Do you feel now that you can say to the critics, look at me, I made it. You said I wouldn't, and I made it. Is there any of that?
Yeah, I feel real good about it. I have to be honest.
Yeah.
I really do. I mean, I really enjoy that. That's great. That's the best revenge.